Researchers have found that male sperm count has plummeted by 50% since the 1970s.
Decreased sex drive and fatigue, especially in younger men.
Low energy, maybe sex drive isn't as good, mood might be altered, concentration, work performance not as good.
Loss of energy, muscle mass, and sexual function to an increased vulnerability to illness.
Men ages 45 and older have a low testosterone level.
Low testosterone levels.
Low testosterone.
Low testosterone levels.
Low testosterone. Low T. Low testosterone.
What is causing the collapse of testosterone? If you look around, it almost feels like everything around us is designed to make men weaker. Temptation, impulses, distractions, and pleasure everywhere. The system is well aware that strong, free-thinking men are the biggest threat to a totalitarian system. They know that if men start communicating and start waking up to what's really going on, there will be a revolt. The sad part is that they've done such a good job of keeping a majority of men under a spell of distraction and pleasure, to the point where a majority of men don't even care that the rights their ancestors fought so hard for are being stripped from under their feet, simply because they have the NFL, corn on demand, and fried food. Look at the modern man, purposeless and overweight, a complete slave to the system, yet that system treats him so horribly.
For me, football and food go hand in hand.
And they see no way out. They are in a constant cycle of wake up, hurry to work, eat, hurry back to work, drive home, fill their evenings with fake dopamine, and lather themselves in phytoestrogens that are completely stripping them of their manhood. This depressing reality does not need to be yours. There are many ways out, many ways out. This is the collapse of masculinity. So let's dive into some of the causes. Tap water, skincare products, soy consumption, endocrine disruptors, processed foods, plastic, forever chemicals, PFAs, just to name a couple. Now, we're gonna dive into each and every single one of these individually, and make sure you stay till the end because I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do to solve this ginormous problem that is actually consuming your life on the day-to-day basis. Atrazine is a pesticide that is virtually sprayed on every single crop in America. And what happens when you spray something onto the ground? It gets soaked up by the soil, goes down into the well water, gets pushed out to streams, and ends up in the water supply. Atrazine is also the chemical that Alex Jones once prior talked about on a video where he goes,
"Turn the friggin' frogs gay!"
In this study on atrazine, there is literally proof that it's been linked to animals and perhaps humans developing the wrong sexual organs. Do you understand that male frogs developed female eggs? Do you understand how crazy that is? And people are gonna say, oh, well, I'm not a frog, thankfully I'm a human. When you are bathing in this water every day, you're drinking this water every day, a little becomes a lot. This is literally showing a clinical study that there have been links to this chemical in basically developing the wrong sexual organ. Let that sink in. So we have atrazine in our tap water, in our plants. Secondly, we have soy. In this study about soy, it concludes that soy may be one of the main contributors to our lower sperm count, lower fertility in men, and even declining testosterone. The classification of isoflavones in phytoestrogens underlies theoretical concerns raised about effects on male fertility, which coincided with rising apprehension that environmental estrogens play a role in the declining sperm count occurring among men worldwide, and possibly contribute to the observed decline in testosterone levels. In animal studies, there have been 2 controlled studies, each describing single individuals who experienced feminizing effects, erectile dysfunction, increased estrogen levels, loss of libido, gynecomastia, and low testosterone in response to excessive soy intake. Yet, mainstream media will tell you that it's fine. So let's dive into phytoestrogens. What are phytoestrogens? Phytoestrogens are estrogen-like compounds derived from plants which are structurally similar to estradiol, which is basically birth control, basically in a plant, that is found in soybeans and other legumes, including a red clover. But what you didn't know is that these phytoestrogens are also so coincidentally happen to be in beer. Beer happens to be one of the highest potencies of phytoestrogens, and it just so happens to be one of the most popular beverages amongst men in the world. Another study in 2021 concluded that beer has the most powerful phytoestrogen identified to date. One of the groups even found that even a moderate intake of beer can trigger lactation in mothers owing to raised estrogen levels. So basically, a mother was having beer and it triggered her to lactate. In another research paper published by Dr. J.S. Gavinler, it was indicated that beer or other alcoholic beverages, whether they are made from rice or hops or barley, contain plant estrogen. Another one, lack of exercise. Exercise impacts your body in many ways, and for men, exercising 3 to 4 times a week as part of a regular routine has been associated with a stable elevation in testosterone level, which makes you obviously conclude that if you're not exercising, your testosterone levels are decreasing. And to get more testosterone from weightlifting, you want to focus on more heavy weight and resistance training. Cardio is still important for weight loss, but as of testosterone levels, you want to be doing heavy things like deadlifting, squatting, and benching. We have a 39.6% obesity rate in America, and recently this percentage has jumped up to 43% obesity in America. Can you guys wrap your head around that? Basically 1 out of every 2 people is obese. Not just overweight, but obese. I don't even want to get into this. I'm going to get canceled if I do. Tap water. When you take a look at the water treatment facilities that are around in your city, you will realize that they have not undergone much development at all in the past couple of decades. That is basically showing you that alone should be a sign to you that these water treatment facilities are not up to date enough to keep up with the amount of prescription drugs and pharmaceuticals that are in your water. A study shows that only 30% of the drug actually gets digested by the system, the human system, and the other 70% gets peed away. Where does that water go? To the water treatment facility. And it's so microscopic that these water treatment facilities are unable to get rid of these pharmaceuticals out of the water. So you're bathing in this water, you're drinking this water every single day. We have a lack of competition. Winning a competition is classically associated with a rise in social status and increase in testosterone levels, whereas losing a competition is associated with a drop in status and testosterone decrease. And nowadays, we have men literally competing for nothing. Think about this. We used to compete for women, status, fame, money. Gladiators literally used to fight in the fucking ring for their life, and now we literally fight nothing. The biggest fight that a man in the modern world has in his current life is getting out of bed in the morning because he's so purposeless. Think about how fuck this is. So this is why you have to choose your friends incredibly wisely, friends that you can compete with. Natural competition is so crucial for men's well-being. If we don't have competition, we really have nothing. We are not embodying our true nature at all. Men have always had some form of natural competition, so always be looking for some way to compete with your friends, whether it's a pickup basketball game or who can make the most money in their business. Have some form of competition because that is what's going to push you to the next level. Another one is lack of purpose. This one is probably the most important out of everything that you're consuming and putting on your body. There's nothing that is more important. If a man has no reason to wake up in the morning, he is not the man he could be. If a man is prioritizing anything over his purpose, he is not the man he could be. At the bottom of everything, a man should be prioritizing, one, his family, obviously, but a greater purpose, one that is bigger than him, bigger than money, bigger than fame, a reason for being. And without this reason for being, you're going to be unfulfilled. You're going to feel like you are missing something. Like my purpose is making these videos, spreading a message of truth, getting it out to the world, and hopefully making an impact on your life. This is bigger than money, it's bigger than fame, it's bigger than status. It's making an impact on an intimate level of individuals. That's my purpose. You need to find your own and work at it every single day like there is no end. So with all of these things being said, let us dive into the solution. And the solution can simply come down to your lifestyle choices and your lifestyle habits and taking righteous accountability for your life. All of these men that are becoming slaves to the system are ones that are just playing the victim. And you have the choice whether or not you want to play the victim. A majority of people don't have the conscious awareness to understand that they are the one at the cause. They are the one that gets to choose the reality and create the reality. A majority of people will look at the cards that they're dealt and say, oh, I was handed shitty cards. I'm going to complain about it for the rest of my life. You need to be showing up every day and creating intentional lifestyle habits, whether that be going to the gym at a certain time every day, sticking to a diet, not drinking certain types of alcohol or not drinking alcohol at all, and only hanging out with friends that are going to boost you as a person, increase your likelihood of success, and increase your masculinity. Now, I hang out with people who aren't necessarily the most masculine people on planet Earth, and I understand that. I understand that this is the world that we're living in, and I'm not going to force someone to be something that they're not, but I am very conscious of who I allow in my circle, and I'm very conscious of what their energy is doing to my life. I will never allow someone's energy to affect mine. Their masculine essence, or becoming a 1% male, or just even creating an abundant life for themselves, and they're just, kind of normal. You can't allow that to rub off on you. You can't allow their beliefs to rub off on you. And you always need to do what's best for you. Stop asking for their validation on what's best for you in your life, because only you know that. If you're gonna go out and buy a $300 water filter, you don't need to ask for anybody's validation on that. If you're not going to drink alcohol anymore because you understand the consequences of doing so, you don't need anyone's validation on that. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not you want to make the choice to embody a life that is one with who you truly are deep down at your roots, or will you succumb to modernity and be another soy boy?